In the shadows they gather, with their banners raised high, a song of defiance echoes beneath the sky. They rise up in the night with passion burning bright.
In the shadows they stand with courage so bold, fighting for the land legends to behold. They whisper of hope like tales of old. Right-wing heroes rise, their stories unfold.
In our little town so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean, we gather round the table every night. Joyful days, oh, was I in, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same old fires, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends always divine, working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright got too tight, in our hearts the same old fire. Oh, yeah. We sway with every change of time, but in our hearts, old love and soul, that baby in our heart, getting like a golden heart. In this fast-paced world we can fight. Traditions keep our hearts going wild. Love goes goodbye in our hearts simple ways. We got it by the good old days.
We stand firm in our belief.
Hold tight.
Through the times clearer we can see, crazy world spinning round.
Stay grounded.
In our hearts simple truths agree, whisper of freedom and liberty
Rings true.
Our foundation strong and deep, holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady paths we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In the story we've built for trust and doubt, time flies but we won't bend. Communists talk loud and fast,
Stay silent.
our quiet strength is our reply. So salute to change, but pause.
Reflect.
In unity, our dearest friend. Holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady paths we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow. In shadows we find our light, through chaos we stay upright.
Stay
with courage, faith on our side,
forever.
standing firm our guide. Holding on to what we know, while the rest of the world lets go. Steady paths we choose to follow, while the winds of change blow.
In the heart of the jungle there's a whisper. John Birch, a soldier, takes the lead. With the spirit so brave he conquers darkness. On his mission hear the call, take heed. Through the shadows where wild winds blow, he's seeking the truth where few dare to go. John in the heart of the wild, John on a journey so styled, John in the heart of the With faith in his soul he speaks to the lost, bringing warmth with every tale he tells. Through the valleys and hills where the rivers cross, he fights for the ones who dwell in the shells. With every step he dances with faith, unraveling tales that forever await. John in the heart of the wild, John on a journey so styled, John in the heart of the wild. Through the battles, through the night, he carries a flame, a guiding light. For every soul that's searching for peace in his heart, may the sorrow cease. John in the heart of the wild, John on a journey so styled, John in the heart of the
You know I'm standing firm while the world keeps a turn, trying to shake my freedom, but I ain't gonna frown. But darling, darling, hold your goblin hand. All you evil can dictate, but I'm learning to stand with the spirit of the wild. Yeah, I'm ready to fight. I know more mindless cranking soul. I got my eyes open. Heavy, I can't sway. I'm fighting for its rights, and call me the free range mind. Never gonna waver. I'm a rebel with a cause. While others search for safety, I'll be raising my voice. Honey, I got my dreams and live with all my woes. I'll be living for tomorrow. Let the whole world know. Cause freedom not a game, it's a rhythm in my soul. Reaching for the stars, yeah, that's how I roll. Baby, I can't sway. I'm fighting for my rights, and call me the free range mind. Got a fire burning, and it won't be tamed. With every stride and stride I take, I'll always proclaim. Stand tall, stand proud, let the people know my name. In the night we rise, in the morning the same. Baby, I can't sway. I'm fighting for my rights, and call me the free range mind.
Times are changing, feel the buzzing, staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. There comes freedom in the Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision. In God we make decisions for our dream. True, thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and glory. With liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery. With liberty.
What we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right. Don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace this life our way. Tradition calls if you don't stand firmly. Hold it tight if you let go of the reins. You'll miss your connection. So share a smile today in this community that we build. With love and respect, that's how our hearts can fill. We carry forward, we know our truth. In this great land, it's our time to move. If you want to stand firm in your lane in new direction, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. Let's hold on to our dreams and cherish every moment. With values intact, we trust in them. We find our hope. Tradition calls. If you don't stand firm in your lane, you lose your direction. Hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection.
Dancing to the radio, spinning round in the glow. Carry dreams on the wind to see our heroes begin. Which shout will they light the way? With courage shining bright today, holding hands through the fights and fears, together against the tide of years. Remember when the heart stood tall.
This wonderful episode of Culturama here on the very wonderful Pride Month, or what I like to call Battle Month, because we are battling against the tides of DEI and postmodernism, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. It's going to be a fun, very fun episode because we have a lot to cover. It looks like the Trumpverse has been imploded today for more reasons than just one. And a lot of it, yes, has to do with Elon Musk. We're going to be talking about that and much more. And we have a special returning guest, David of America, to talk with us about the Trumpverse implosion, the Musk meltdown crash out, as well as a dying Pride marketing month, everybody. So we're going to be talking about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you are very much interested in this interview, stay tuned because an hour into the show, we will do it. And then right after this show, of course, we have the fellas themselves. We have the Liberty Tonight show streaming right after Culturama today as part of the 4 Liberty Network. So anyways, I also noticed that we already have donations in, and I will get to those in a second. Thank you so much that have joined Culturama already. This is amazing. We still have low viewership on Rumble, so please, if you can, like the stream, share the stream if you can, post it on Twitter, because our Twitter seems to be down for whatever reason. X does not want to stream Culturama. Now, I mentioned how I've been shadow banned on Twitter. I don't think this has anything to do with that. I don't think it's related, but it seems like the Rumble had issues today with linking the X account. So please, if you could, share it on Twitter so we can get more people to watch us here on Rumble today. Because, like I said, it's going to be quite an interesting political stream today. The news has been chock full of information. So before I get to that, I'm going to say hello to everyone that has decided to join Culturama today, this evening, as well as read the donations we have. Because first and foremost, we have $5 from Fiery Waco. You wrote, best comment seen in X today. I can't believe Donald and Elon are getting divorced during Pride Month. This is very much true, Fiery Waco. They are getting divorced. It's very painful for a lot of people. We didn't see it coming, so this is quite amazing. A wonderful comment, and thank you so much for the $5, Fiery Waco. It is very much appreciated. And we also have $5 from Row House. Daniela, this clip shows what started it all today. Okay, Row House, I will play that link here in a moment, and I'll open that up. Thank you so much for your wonderful donation. And, of course, in the chat, we have Barney Styles. I already said Fiery Waco. We have Nelson. Nelson's in the chat as well. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining, guys. So please go ahead and like the stream, share it. So, Row House, let me get to your comment here, okay? And we will watch it all together. Who else? We have let's see. I saw a YouTube comment. Oh, that's me on YouTube. Okay. We have one viewer on YouTube right now. YouTube is not my best platform. Row House, wait, hold on a second. Let me copy and paste your link here. I think I accidentally pinned your link. There you go. All right. Let's see. Autism Capital. Let's take a look, Row House. So this is what Row House sent in. New Trump speaks on Elon coming out against the triple B. I would have won Pennsylvania regardless of Elon. I'm very disappointed with Elon. I had this clip later on in the stream, Row House, so thank you for sharing it. We'll just get it out right out of the gate. I would have won Pennsylvania regardless of Elon. I'm very disappointed. He knew this bill better than anyone, and he only developed a problem when he found out I would cut the EV mandate. Ooh. When he left, he said the most beautiful things about me. He hasn't said anything bad yet, but I'm sure that will be next. I've helped Elon a lot. Let's take a listen to what. Let's hear from the man himself,
better than
shall we?
almost anybody sitting here. So we've done a great job. Elon knew that. Elon endorsed me very strongly. He actually went up in campaign for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy feels sorry for him. But they made a bad choice with him. But if you pick Shapiro or anybody else, I spoke to him recently about his house being set on fire, which was terrible. But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem.
No doubt that Elon was quite knowledgeable about it.
When he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have we want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next.
Oh.
But I'm very
He knew he
disappointed
had
in Elon.
premonitions.
I've helped Elon a lot.
Mr. President, did he, I just want to clarify, did he raise any of these concerns with you privately before he raised them publicly? And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people
Fair question.
not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour
Fair
grapes?
question.
No, he
I
worked-
think that's a fair question. I mean, this guy was put in by Trump, so it's a fair question to ask. Should we trust this guy any further along? I mean, obviously, Elon doesn't really have say on the administration any longer, but let's see what he has to
And
say.
he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. I was telling the Chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in and they walk into the Oval Office, and it's just a special place. It's, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II, and so many other things. Everything big comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago. A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point
Something
they miss
happens.
it so badly. And some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone. The whole world
the
is
glamour's
different,
gone.
and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it.
That's hilarious. I didn't even realize he said that part. That's really funny. They become hostile as soon as the glitz and the glamour of being involved within the Trump administration and the White House completely phases out. That's great. Yeah, and I bet he's feeling like a caged animal right now. Elon, that is. Rowhouse makes a beautiful comment. I nominate Danielle Pensack in Musk's place. Very well put, Rowhouse. I would have to agree with you there. Let me pull up the tweets that basically started this whole thing. Musk is crash landing. His stocks, the Tesla stocks, are spiraling. Sales are spiraling because of all this, okay? Pride dies. We're going to be talking about that. And a potential third political party that Musk is lobbying for with the American people. We'll see how much, we'll see how effective that will be, possibly. And like I said, we have an upcoming interview and more. So stay tuned, folks. Let me just quickly open up the first two tweets that, like I said, launched this entire story, okay? Okay, there we go. I just wrote total crash out. But this is what initially started it, as far as I'm aware. Without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. Okay? That's what he wrote initially. And then, of course, the really big bomb. Hang on a second. The really big bomb Elon Musk has dropped on the American people here today. The time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. Big surprise there, right, everybody? I thought everyone knew this part, but regardless, we don't know exactly why he was on the Epstein files. This is kind of common knowledge, I think, with the American people. The question is exactly why he was in those files. Was he just taking a flight, or was he doing something more? Okay? Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is a real reason they have not made it public. Have a nice day, DJT. And then he wrote underneath this, mark this post for the future, the truth will come out. Trouble in the Trumpverse paradise, everyone. There may be glitz and glam, but not today. There's blood everywhere on the floor, and they're fighting for it, you guys. Okay? I'm going to be talking about this further and quite more extensively after this brief commercial break, everyone. Okay? So please stay tuned. I'm going to be pulling up my next few stories. Like I said, please share the stream. We are being targeted by the deep state and the elites, so please be sure to follow us, share us. Follow me on Twitter at DC Pensack, on Twitter, on X. And so we can get the news out there, so we can get the stream out there. I share the link in my profile, so please go follow, share, whatever it takes. X is not streaming us today, okay? So please do that. And in the meantime, during this commercial break, if you will, please, we also have the Culturama shop. Maybe during the stream, I'll pull that up for you guys. But quick commercial break. I will be right back, everybody.
This is what we hold. Values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right. Don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace.
Watch me on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on X this Saturday. And that will start at the same time, 5 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Central Time.
What we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right. Don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace.
Watch me on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on X. Okay, we are back. Sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen, for that brief period of time. I had to pull up some news stories for you all because, like I said, we have a lot to cover here, and I'm going to just blow through this because we have our special guest interview with American David here on Pride Month on this very wonderful season within the next 30 minutes, so you guys will want to stay tuned for that. But before I do that, I want to acknowledge this one post in the chat by Barney Styles. Barney, you wrote the richest man in the world and the most famous / powerful man in the world are having a flame war on Twitter. That's exactly what's happening. And this is what I think is catching a lot of people aback here, is that we are in an era, in a period of politics where it's untapped territory. The way that we communicate so instantaneously online these days, and so unfiltered, I think marks first technological evolution in a state that we've never really been in before. And so it certainly does alter how we perceive information, how we gather information, and how we perceive others within, spheres of influence and power. But also, second of all, I think it's marking a new era in politics in general in terms of our figureheads. clearly these people aren't elitists to the degree that they're going to bring their issues behind closed doors. It's out in the open. A lot of people have been stating that because of that, they've been calling it kayfabe, I think is the term they've called it. It's all fake. It's all staged. I don't think that's true. I think this is all real activities, at least in my opinion. But let's turn to the news here really quickly. Number one, Elon Musk, quick article, drops Epstein Files bomb after Trump's derangement syndrome taunt. Elon Musk took his war of words with President Donald Trump to an unprecedented new level. It is unprecedented. X has certainly, like I said, changed the terrain for political work and for negotiation. Fascinating stuff. You know how like the job market, finding a job in general, a lot of it has changed, and the terrain of finding work has changed, not only through, resume submissions, and how frequently that happens to a greater degree, where you have to compete basically with other AI models, you have to compete with bots. And so the job market has completely changed, right? And so you have to be crafty. Including with resume submission, you also have to be very much aware of your public profile and your public image online and your online footprint. A lot of people just private their accounts. Younger people now, I'm noticing, are privating their accounts from the get-go. As soon as they're out of high school, private accounts don't want that. When they're entering college, when they're entering the workforce, they're aware of the impact that online presence can have. We already seen this fallout happen within the last 10 years or so, right? People lose jobs. People, their online presence from 2010 wreaks havoc on their professional image now. So the online communication terrain has greatly altered our daily lives as far as job security is concerned, as far as finding jobs are concerned. But the same thing obviously is happening with online communication as far as our public officials are concerned. And even though previous public officials, I think, have done okay managing this, granted, a lot of our public officials are old enough where they didn't really have a public image previous to the technological revolution that we're experiencing here today. But people like Donald Trump are certainly working with it in a way that I have never seen a public official work with it before, okay? Musk unleashes enough what I have to say. Let's see what this article says. Musk unleashed a blockbuster claim after Trump suggested that the tech billionaire, fresh off stepping back as Department of Government Efficiency DOJ's chief, suffers from Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS. Time to drop the really big bomb, writes Elon Musk. We just read that. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is a real reason why they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. One of Musk's shots at Trump concerned the Epstein files, which Trump has yet to release more than 4 months into his second term, which is leaving a lot of people questioning why the files haven't been released yet. Okay? A lot of people are speculating that, if anything, this would give the extra push to release those files, especially under Trump's purview, and maybe, just maybe, this will be the catalyst to do so. I don't know. Something to consider, right? Okay, here's another article from The Sun. Going nuclear, yet again. Going nuclear. Musk calls for Trump to be impeached and make wild Epstein rant after Don branded Elon crazy. Okay, so now Elon and a few others are calling for Donald Trump to be impeached. President Donald Trump and Elon Musk's relationship has publicly crashed and burned as the two former allies exchanged blows on the media on Thursday, today. So we're going to skip this part because we already know why that happened. People have been saying the black eye has been due to an actual fight Elon had with members of the admin. Okay, so there's some details for you there. The feud started 3 days ago. When Musk began fuming, here's a little bit of context. When Musk began fuming over the president's signature spending legislation that's currently making its way through Congress. Okay? It's about the economy, stupid, is what he's trying to articulate here. Nothing else, no other policy position that Trump has gone consistently popular over, which is primarily immigration and immigration reform policy. That's what's launched him into success with the American people initially, but Elon Musk and a few others in his camp, and we'll come to see who those people are are saying that should only be primarily about the economy. That's what his focus should be about. Not nationhood, not identity, not a national people, not immigration, not how the economy is impacted by immigration, of course. Okay. And the feud started 3 days ago. We just read that. The tech mogul's 3-day takedown came to a head when the president was quizzed about the bill in the Oval Office on Thursday, prompting Musk to reply in real time on X. Musk's furious response has snowballed into a barrage of attacks on the president, accumulating with the X's owner suggesting that Trump should be impeached, okay, and replaced by Vice President J.D. Vance in another post. So then Musk reposted an X user who wrote, "President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and JD should replace him." Okay, questions are being asked here. Heated questions are being asked. Musk gave a one-word affirmation when he replied, yes. The call came moments after Musk claimed Trump refuses to release the infamous Epstein files because his name is in them. Time to drop the really big bomb. Once again. The really big bomb. That is a real reason they have not been made public. That is a real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Oval Office face-off. Trump has defended the one big beautiful bill in spending cuts, and it's his historic 1.6 trillion in spending cuts, or so he says, since the House passed it in May, just last month, briefly. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that the bill will add $3 trillion to the national deficit, which Musk has latched onto in his attacks on Trump. So today, Trump answered the questions alongside German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in the Oval Office when he was confronted with questions about the big, beautiful bill. We are doing things in this bill that are unbelievable, the president said. Beautiful, big, beautiful things. When asked about Musk's criticism, the president revealed, as we have just watched here, that the two have been at odds ever since Musk stepped down from Doge, suggesting, as we have just seen, that, leaving the Oval Office and the glitz and the glam, okay, that has related to that profession and that experience is making him a little bit aggrieved, you could say. Elon and I had a great relationship, Trump says. I don't know if we will anymore. Then he just went crazy. In the Oval Office, Trump claimed Musk was really criticizing the bill because he was outraged over the president's decision to step away from the national electric vehicle mandate, the EV mandate, as we have just watched. Once again, compliments to Row House for bringing that video up front center. You know they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles, he said, and they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidies. Billions. Trump later wrote on Truth Social that Elon was, quote, wearing thin, losing his grip on reality, and that the president had to ask him to leave. Womp womp. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that no one else wanted. And he just went crazy. This is my take on it. I think this could be partly true. I can see Musk, autistic Musk, losing his cool a little bit over that, when he didn't get what he wanted. So there you go. So we're not going to read this entire article, but that just gives us a bit of context, yet again, of what's happening. Now, throughout this entire ordeal, you can see people have been coming out of the woodwork, more or less, with online presences, and they've been sharing their take on whose side they are on, because we are experiencing a great divorce, and not just a divorce based on specific policy here, even though that's what these articles suggest. I think it's more of an ideological divorce. For instance, we have people like Ian Miles Chong, okay, coming out saying President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached and JD should replace him. This is the Twitter account that we just talked about. Ian Miles Chong clearly taking a stance here. Jack Pozo just wrote simply over an hour ago, Donald Trump. And Tim Pool wrote Elon 2028, everybody. So, I think someone also mentioned to me earlier that the Ron DeSantis PAC also made a claim about this. I'm gonna have to find that tweet later, and that they were on Team Elon supposedly. This is, of course, all surrounding the 2028 election. Okay. And people are, like I said, coming out of the woodwork, already stating their side on the divorce. But I ask this question, and I've seen a few others ask this question. MAGA nationalist ascendant, okay, that's what I call it, the MAGA nationalist ascendant, because that's what it is. Now, isn't it the ascendant aspect of the GOP primarily? The GOP is dead, but I talked about this, I written about this. It is an ascendant branch or movement to be pro-nationalist, isolationist, okay? And that is what MAGA and that is what Trump's populism and his populist spirit kind of tuned into and tapped into. And I think, and I will always assert that's what got him into relevancy initially back in 2016, about 10 years ago. So it's a MAGA nationalist ascendant, or whatever you want to call it, the populist right, whatever, versus tech silicon right wing, the Mark Andreessians, the Thiels, the Elon Musks. Okay, so interesting what's going to happen here. This is a great divorce. And for so long, and the DR was a little bit part of this too, because J.D. Vance, you have him following a few people that would be part of the DR. I don't think it's appropriate to call it the DR or the dissident right anymore, but maybe it's still relevant. But you had sort of a union between these two forces within the new right-wing movement, okay? You have the old conservative. You have the understanding of what the right-wing movement is in America. But you have the new right, the neo-right, and what that looks like and what that's shaping into, divorced from what the GOP, Republicans, and even the traditional conservatives and the neocons of America were. And even though there's many subcultures in these, it could be the new right could be defined in two ways: the MAGA nationalist ascendant and the tech Silicon Valley right wing. Okay, that's what it could be classified as, and that is a great divorce, the great rift that I think is happening here today, and it's embodied by their own avatars here. It's embodied and manifested by their own avatars here. Donald Trump with the ascendant right, the nationalist MAGA populist, and MAHA is in this too, I'm pretty sure, versus the tech silicons, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, what an exciting time we have flung ourselves into. And speaking of Musk's failures with Tesla and the EV policy and all this, Tesla is losing a lot in money. Ladies and gentlemen, Tesla loses $152 billion in market cap after the Musk-Trump spat today. Biggest hit ever. Fiery Waco makes in the chat, I see good points being made. Fiery Waco wrote, Elon has been publicly and privately saying, and you link to something. I'm gonna have to look at that link, Fiery Waco. Fiery Waco, you're saying Elon has been publicly and privately saying he doesn't care about the EV tax credit since last year. This is a direct from Forbes. Both he and Trump have also publicly together said this during speeches. The narrative that this is a tiff because the EV credits is false. Possibly, Fiery Waco. Again, behind closed doors, we don't know what's going on. I have heard a lot of theories about this. First of all, I heard that this was all staged. It's kafabe. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't really know, but it's all. I'm going to use it in the Japanese way. Kafabe. People are saying it's staged. I don't think it's staged. People are saying that it's really like the H-1B situation. The pro H-1Bs versus the anti H-1Bs. That are relevant and prominent within the Donald Trump administration. And it's settled on that ideological narrative, perhaps. Others have been saying, like you mentioned, it's the EV thing, which I can easily see. Donald Trump's family doesn't even like Musk to begin. I've heard they don't even like Trump from day one, so it could even be personal for all we know. There's a lot of issues. It's a multifaceted, complex situation. We don't know what's going on in the head of Elon Musk. Other people have asked, just straight up, is this guy on drugs now? Like, has he been hitting the bottle? Just what's going on? Maybe he's on something. Maybe he got a new prescription. Who knows what could be the case? K-fob. Is it pronounced K-fob? Thank you. K-fob. Thank you, Firewaco. I've been needing to know. People have been saying it could be K-fob. I don't believe it's K. I'm willing to consider any other theory, and I think that the theory, all the ones that I've just listed, I think all are accurate. I just don't think the K-fob theory is accurate. I don't think this is staged. I think this is real, okay? But moving on, Tesla loses $152 billion in market cap after Musk-Trump spat. Quick rundown. Shares of Tesla fell 14% today as President Donald Trump threatened to pull government contracts for CEO Elon Musk's companies. The move dropped the EV maker $152 billion in value, putting it below Tesla, putting it below $1 trillion benchmark into settling Thursday at $916 billion. Lots of numbers there. Shares of Tesla fell 14%, everybody. 14% on Thursday as Donald Trump threatened to pull government contracts for CEO Elon Musk's companies, says this article, escalating a war of the words over the spending bill. The move dropped the EV maker 100. I don't know why they just can't say Tesla. It's like, why EV maker? Weird. I mean, it's in the headline. It's not like it's a banned word here. It moved the Teslas in value down $152 billion just in one day. $152 billion in one day. That's insane. The biggest hits to its market cap ever, putting it below $1 trillion benchmark and settling Thursday at over $900 billion. Kayfabe? Okay, kayfabe. I don't know. Friday go kayfob. I've heard it said multiple ways. Musk, the world's richest man in recent days, has threatened to make lawmakers who vote for the bill face primary elections and called the bill a disgusting abomination, marking a significant shift in his comments about the administration. And once again, we have another article saying here, Tesla shares sink as Musk and Trump ridicule each other. Crazy. Stock slides come in as multi-billionaire criticizes the GOP spending bill and seeks to refocus on its own companies after leading deep federal workforce cuts. Tesla shares have fallen, this one says 16%, since CEO Elon Musk began bashing President Donald Trump's massive spending bill last week, and the stock remains about 33% lower since Inauguration Day. This guy, this guy, Elon Musk, has really been through the ringer, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It really is painful to see what is happening to this man. And I think Trump is right. I think Elon Musk is unraveling. I think Musk is, he's, even though he's been through a lot, he's built businesses, a very successful guy, and I'm sure he's faced conflict to a very high degree, and he's felt pressure. But nothing compares to what is being handled and experienced within the administration, especially the Trump administration. And so, like I said, this is a multifaceted situation, and it very well could be related to all the things that people have mentioned. He could be on drugs. He could have issues with the family itself or Trump personally. It could be the EV thing. It could be the H-1B thing. It could be like the ideological divorce, like I'm saying, between the Silicon Valley economic tech giants versus what Trump sees is what makes him popular and gets his people in office, which is that nationalist, pro-nationalist, anti-H-1B, anti-immigration rhetoric. And whether you want to call it just pragmatic politics or ideology, philosophy, or whatever's related to this, at all. And it also could be like, the pressures that have been building up through the Tesla laws that is causing Elon to react this way. And I think it's all correct. I don't think it's K-pop, though. I don't think this is all fake. People have been saying it could be the case, so they could release the Epstein files. I don't really see that happening, but hopefully it will bring in more questions and get them to actually release the files in full. But like I said, Tesla is failing, unraveling, just like Elon Musk's mental state. And you know what else is unraveling quite drastically ever since Donald Trump's first day in office? We have seen DEI policies decline and unravel just as much. And like people have predicted, like I've predicted, this is a long time coming. Pride Month, everybody, is dead. Pride Month is dying. Let's listen from the Elon Musk 2028 guy himself. This was just streamed 2 days ago by Timcast. Tim Pool explains this pretty well.
Huge news. You may have noticed it is Pride Month. It is June 2nd. And guess what? CNN is calling it. Big brands are pulling back on Pride merchandise and events this year.
Big brands.
That's right. For the last several years.
You had Toyota. You had Budweiser. You had... There's just so many that are pulling out and not having to do anything, including the DOD and parts of the government are pulling out. They want nothing to do with Pride Month. And this is experienced and applauded by the right and the left. People on the left also see through the facade and then say, hey, look, I'm all for LGBTQ, whatever, rights. But I don't want to buy a Target as well. I forgot to mention is pulling out. They're saying, I don't want anything to do with the fake corpo speak that is surrounding my values and is buttressing my values. It's all fake and it's all gay and I want nothing to do with it. So even people on the left, even far left streamers that I've noticed are saying this, as well as obviously people on the right.
Pride Month was a splashy marketing event for big brands. Stores adorned windows with rainbow flags, LGBTQ-themed T-shirts and mugs. Not anymore. Companies are treading lightly. Look at this. They even say Bud Light and Target. Let me tell you this. When I walk into Target, there's usually a few things that I want to get. I want to check the collectible card section because sometimes, check this out, depending on where you are in the country, an old Target or Walmart might have extremely rare Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Oh, my God.
That are like, no joke. Really? My buddy went to a store and there were like 10-year-old.
I've been hearing a lot about Magic the Gathering lately, and I don't know why. A lot of references.
Cards sitting there for like
Very popular,
$50
I guess.
that were actually worth hundreds of dollars. But I digress. I don't want to see weird.
He just can't help. The man in the beanie cannot help but mention Magic the Gathering. I bet that's what it is. Anyway,
gay
I digress.
Stuff, like tuck-friendly bathing suits. And when I buy beer, I want to make crude, off-color jokes with my friends, not be lectured by a man who thinks he's a woman. Naturally, this cost a lot of money to these brands, and they're all panicking now. And Asmongold had a great video where he started pulling up all these different corporations, and none of them changed their logos because get woke, go broke. Everybody said, no way. Now, despite all that...
Get woke, go broke. Here's a quick article here. And this is, of course, what I'm going to be talking about with my next special returning guest, American David. I'm sure he has a lot to say about this. So, but let me quickly read this article. And then, everyone, we will bring in our guest for a very special interview on this very special Battle Month, Pride Month. Ladies and gentlemen, corporate pride is dying. Good. This is by The Intercept. The sudden withdrawal of big corporate sponsors from Pride events is an opportunity, not a crisis. Let's see what they're saying here. As Pride Month kicks off under a hostile federal government that takes its cues from homophobic and transphobic far-right movement, the typical steady drip of rainbow-painted logos and feel-good news has been replaced with a stream of coverage of corporations pulling their sponsorship dollars from LGBTQ plus Pride events. I'm sorry, where is that IA? Where is the intersex and asexual from this? That's not cool, guys. Come on. Practice what you preach, you guys. You can say LGBTQIA+, okay? You can't... If you can't talk the talk, don't walk the walk. Or maybe it's the one way or the other, I don't remember. This sudden withdrawal presents a material problem in queer circles, as advocates struggle to plan the increasingly bloated festivals and festivities that corporate cash has enabled in many recent years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the private world, the corporate world, was fully funding, or largely funding, the modern bacchanalia that we have been forced to view, and your children were forced to view up until now. And finally, and I think Dylan Mulvaney was the catalyst of all this. People are, because he's not, the most beautiful creature to witness. Ever since that Budweiser commercial, if you guys remember, onward, I think Americans just got sick and tired. And seeing the upcoming Trump administration, because a lot of people read the writing on the wall, they saw that after the Biden administration, after COVID, the regime was to change into a new regime system, and people were pulling out steadfastly from Target, from Budweiser, from not seeing certain movies, especially from Disney, from Toyota. Toyota's completely stopped in all of this stuff, and from other corporations. And the money they've been losing their money. They've been losing their the purpose for their existence. And so, as a result, they're pulling out completely. And people, like I said, people completely sick of the modern bacchanalia. The corporate exodus has been a swift and financially devastating. According to the AP, New York City Pride is staring down a $750,000 budget gap. San Francisco Pride is short of $200,000 to $300,000. And Pride in Kansas City lost half of its annual budget. About $200,000. This is crazy. Nationally, Pride festivities are either going to not happen, or going to be either much smaller or less impactful than they were in the past. And from people voting with their wallets, as well as voting for the right person in office, this is happening. Because yes, even though people are sick and tired, okay, of the modern bacchanalia, the Dylan Mulvaneys of the world, all right? As much as they're sick of that, I do think the present administration is scaring these people straight. Not intended. Pride is not happening. Yes, Nelson, Pride does not seem to be happening in some areas. The devil's bargain with big businesses has devastated our community's ability to be good allies to those suffering from corporate abuses. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to ask my next guest all these questions and more, and I'm going to ask his opinion on the Elon Musk Donald Trump feud. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. You're going to enjoy this next conversation. I'm going to open up my Zoom, launch it, so I'm going to play you guys his favorite commercial. Please stay tuned, and I will be right back with American David.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
arms stand together like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hayford doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Okay, everyone, we are experiencing some technical issues here, so give us one moment. But meanwhile, as I'm waiting to hear my guest respond, he is in the line, in like the wings here, but we have to get the link over to him to come and interview with us. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for him to send me his email, I did want to cover Row House's story here. $10, Row House Hero Danielle. This is just a one-off topic here, but TPUSA has a bunch of women speaking at their conference. You're referring to YWLS, the Young Women's Leadership Conference Row House or Summit. And I've attended before, so I know your view of this lineup, and you link to the lineup and Row House are very good. Very, I completely forgot about this, and I wanted to talk about this. So I completely forgot because I was so wrapped up on the Elon Musk stuff. So let me quickly cover this for you guys, and I will probably ask my guest about this as well. But this is the lineup, ladies and gentlemen. We're celebrating 10 incredible years of the largest conference for conservative women, and you're invited. Now through June 6th, use the code to get 40% off. And look, where is she? I know who you're referring to. It's Nala Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know who Nala Ray is, she was that OnlyFans porn actress who has, you could say, spiritually recovered since then, and she's converted to Christianity or reconverted to Christianity. I know her husband was a pastor. She has quite the crazy story. And these are my thoughts on it, Row House, okay? Let me go to my profile here. This is what I've said the other day on this topic. Where is it? Here we go. So this is what I think is happening. Now, I think this is an act of desperation on Turning Point's part. This is what I wrote. So on platforming Nala, there are two scenarios here. Either TPUSA lost a lot of money at their last event, which I'm sure they have. It's the same event literally every year, you guys. They just changed the theme. It's the same speakers. It's if they always have it in Texas, I think. It usually is like the same area, the same facility. And over a certain period of time, there's nothing novel about it. so less and less people are going. Welcome, Grizz Cheese, to the stream. Welcome. We're gonna have a guest on here in a second. But either TPUSA lost a lot of money at their last event, so they're just, putting on people that's gonna bring on eyes and attention, or this is marking a new era of American conservatism where they are secularizing the movement for women. Because this is what I've noticed, you guys, and I'll say it here briefly because I think my guest just messaged me, is that is what I think is happening, and what I've noticed is that the conservative movement for women is, especially today, you can, as an atheist, agnostic, secular woman, get involved in the conservative movement. Oh, whoops, I'm echoing here. Oh, I have my guest on, actually, everyone. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring him on. Okay. Let me just share this part. As a secular woman, it is difficult to get involved. It's very much Christian. So I think what Turning Point is doing is that they are secularizing the movement. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, guys, I have my guest on here. So let me quickly put on the title card, and I will bring him on. American David, everybody. Awesome.
Thank you.
Everyone, welcome. This is American David. American David, welcome. You are a returning guest. It's good to see you here again. How are you doing today?
So good to see you. So glad to be back on one of my favorite podcasts. Everybody subscribe and donate and buy merch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm excited to catch up. It's been a minute. So much has been going on. Even just today, it's like we could have had so much to talk about today. Yeah, without all of the drama happening today.
It's crazy today. And for those that don't know American David, just to give you a brief context of people that are new that don't remember you from the last time you appeared, you are, I would say, an up and coming a TikTok star. Is that correct? I mean, you're quite influential. You're involved with the Gays Against Groomers movement still here in Washington State. Is that correct?
Yeah, okay. And just like nationally, I make content for them. My TikTok has kind of died since the ban, so I've been focusing mainly on Instagram.
I hear that. Yeah, now Instagram. Okay, and obviously I'll put all your socials after this interview. But this interview is going to be a little bit more, laid back, you guys, because David has a lot to say, and we have a lot of topics to cover. So originally, I wanted to cover I don't know if you were watching the stream previous, but I'll give you a rundown anyway. I was covering the Dying Corpo Pride Month situation. Less and less, I don't know if you've noticed, but less and less organizations are actually pulling out of like funding these pride festivals and parades and not really advertising it themselves. I was going to ask you a question or ask you about that, but also, obviously I want to talk to you about the Elon Musk Trump divorce as well. So, but let's first talk about the Elon Musk situation, because I know that's why people are tuning in today. So I'm going to ask you, have you been following that story? What's your overall take on it, if any?
I've been following it, not maybe as closely as other people, but I've definitely followed it recently today, and then kind of like the edging of a fallout that's been going on, like the hints of it.
It's a good way to put it, yeah.
I think it's messy. I just think it's Messica Simpson, Messica Alba. I'm not shocked that Elon would take it to like his own platform and say whatever he wants, but it's a little messy. And then the whole call out for the Epstein list, people knew he was on the flight logs already. So basically what Elon is implying is that he was part of like the baddies actually doing things and like using children and whatnot, which then begs the question, why would you trust him to watch your child? I mean, there was that like all of those photos and videos of Elon's kids, XR23 or whatever his name is.
Right.
Being babysat by Trump, ampersand _ whatever his name is. But he, so that doesn't super track for me. But I mean, Trump has done a lot of things to piss people off. So it's not shocking that they had a fallout. I just wish they'd be more grown-ups about it on Pride Month, especially.
I know, right? Especially on Pride Month. Yeah, there has been a lot of like debate or questioning about why this is, I think it's like multifaceted. I honestly think that Elon Musk had, this is my take on it. I think Elon Musk had a lot of pressure. Tesla is just like drowning. It's going to be drowning in debt here soon. It lost like over $150 billion today because of this. But ever since he joined the admin, I know that Tesla stocks have been plummeting. I know that the Trump family and the Trump like inner circle, I've heard, don't like Musk. So ever since he's come on, they were kind of like trying to. Anyway, that's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is. I
heard that too, that he was like annoying a lot of people in the inner circles and the family, and he was just like including himself and everything, which also tracks. Like, I believe
do you remember the Roman salute he gave during the inauguration?
How could I forget? My heart went out.
So like he just kind of like he's acting out, and I don't think the family really likes it all that much. But people are saying it's an EV thing. I think that could be the case too. But I don't think it's staged. I've heard a lot of people saying that they think it's staged. I don't think that's what's happening here. Although people have been saying. Yeah, people have been saying that because the Epstein list is back on. Maybe they're actually gonna release it now, hopefully in full. But fingers crossed on that. But I'm gonna ask you a little deeper question about the Trump movement. Do you think that this is going to affect how people vote in 2028, this whole thing? Because I know, I know you probably don't talk about like elections all that much, but do you really think this is going to affect where the Republican Party goes? Because I know you're somewhat like involved with the Republican Party up here, at least, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think people are just going to forget about it in a few weeks?
Well, yeah. So that's a good question, and clarifying about like the vote switch or sway from like Democrat to Republican. Mm-hmm. In fact, possibly, yeah, because it just makes us look messy and kind of incompetent.
True.
But then again, it really matters what comes out of this, because it already looks like there's all these machinations behind the scenes and kind of in front of our face to like have JD Vance be the new leader, which isn't out of the blue. He's literally the vice president. So it tracks that they would want that. But it seems like there's kind of maybe a desire among maybe even some people in his cabinet or amongst Republicans to just get Trump out of the way as soon as possible and carry on with like JD Vance being the next legacy, because he's young, he has a huge future in politics, and he knows how to like dot his I's and cross his T's. He doesn't say anything like super outlandish, and when he does, it ends up like working for him because like what did he say? Something about like fat, unattractive, or cat owners or something.
Yeah, and I remember that. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember the details, but it always ends up, it always ends up working for him somehow. I think it's also because he's younger and he's perhaps more like plugged into the, I don't know how do you put it, like the culture or the language perhaps, and he knows how to spin it maybe.
100%.
But I think so. But yeah, I don't know. This is going to be crazy. I can't. When I heard it earlier today, I couldn't believe that Elon Musk tweeted that. It's like, wow, crazy stuff is happening here. Since especially X, online communication, I think has frankly like changed all interactions, not just like politically, but professionally as well. How do you think the future is going to be changed with like this online communication? Because never before have we seen like these two elite figures or in our lives kind of have a spat like this publicly. Do you think this is going to happen more often, or do you think it's just unique to Donald Trump's administration?
Oh, yeah, good question. I think part of it is unique to him, but then there were lots of things that have been unique to Trump that now have kind of become cultural norms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it'll become more and more normalized. I don't know. It's gotten on the point of X, I was like such a huge proponent of and such a fan of, and I was so excited about their monetization policy because I'm like, yes, it's going to encourage creators to finally get paid and all of this. And then it turned into a hellhole of just like engagement farmers and rage baiters and like the Ian Miles Chongs of the world. And I mean, that beauty, it's just like, it seemed to like foster not the best ecosystem, and I literally stopped paying for verification on X because I was just like so sick of it. Mm-hmm. Plus, it's so hard to get anywhere on that app. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult unless you just go into like full blown rage bait mode, or you're just right on top of the story as it's happening and spending all day on X.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's super rough.
Well, I think I used to, I would say that Instagram's rough. So kudos to you to growing on there, because I've tried Instagram. It sucks, man. Or like any meta platform I can't stand. I used to like have traction on X, and I swear, as of last month, like I swear I'm shadow banned. It's crazy, and now things have certainly changed as well. I would agree with that. But
I know what you need to do to boost your Instagram. You need to do more.
Yeah, I know. I need to do more reels and stuff, and
videos. Yeah.
it's a lot of effort. I try, like I sometimes will. I'll get like in a good mood. I'll have some extra caffeine, and like I made reels, and they can actually get like a couple hundred likes, I guess, if I'm talking about something pertinent. But it's just like a tweet is so easy to do. You just like say your thoughts, you put it out there, it's done. But a reel, you have to like edit it and stuff. But I hear you. I get it. But anyway, let's shift gears. I know that there's another whole topic I want to talk about here, and that is, of course, Pride Month. And you're an affiliate, or you're involved with Gays Against Groomers, which is a great organization. And I guess
I thought you were about to say you're an affiliate of the LGBT.
No.
Like, that's the way to
say that. But I wanted your take on this. And I don't know if you've been following or noticing. I've been noticing this personally. Like I was in Seattle last week, and dead of Seattle, and I went to Walmart, and I saw that there was actually more like patriotic stuff, like American flags, necklaces, stuff like that. And it hit me like, okay, this is for 4th of July, but wait a second, it was the beginning of June. It was like June 1st. And I thought, this cannot be. I remember just a couple years ago, there would be rainbows, flags and stuff everywhere in the middle of May. So what's going on, right? And this was in Seattle, no less. And so like I looked up some articles, and it turns out that yes, this is a long time coming. Apparently a lot of organizations, a lot of private organizations and corporations are pulling out, not advertising anything to do with Pride Month. Some still are, but some aren't. And in fact, they're not even giving money to these festivities that happen at large in large cities. So I wanted your take. Just give us your thoughts. Why do you think this is happening? Do you think it's because of the administration's presence and the Trump freeze effect? Or do you think this is a long time coming, ever since Dylan Mulvaney, that whole situation with Budweiser, or even before? Like, what do you think is going on here, or is it both?
Well, yeah. So I think like one of the easiest ways to kind of like break it down to see like what the incentive is behind there. Largely, I think it's financial, right? And I think it was fake from the beginning. These corporations didn't give a rip about LGBT anything. It was just like a hot topic, and it was a way of them getting ESG scores based off the environmental social governance stuff. So this was like a very top-down thing. Do I think it's gone away forever? No, because I feel like it's kind of low-key a part of this like anti-humanist or anti-human, anti-natalist agenda of just like, making everybody these like non-binary pod people. But yeah, I think it was just not like as lucrative anymore. So they're like, why would we? And it's like having them lose money. And it's kind of just like, okay, we're spending all this extra money. We're doing all this extra stuff to kind of show and prove that we are an ally, And then it's like, where does that get you? It gets you like boycotted. It gets you like what they did to Jaguar or Jaguar.
Right.
That was insane. Like, and it's the reason I don't think it's going away fully, because it's not just about like LGBT. It's about any sort of weapon being used to topple cultural norms or Western civ or Christianity or monogamy or whatever, heterosexuality, whatever it may be. It's all about like, we are the new age now. We're bringing in a new era. Therefore, everything before us must be destroyed. And I think that's not going to go anywhere. Maybe they'll just use a different avenue or minority to get us there. But I think there's what's that word? It was trending for Black. I think there's gay fatigue, or dare I say FAG. Okay, there's fag fatigue going on now, and I think that people are just kind of over it, So, and then if it's like the general public is feeling that, then why would corporations try to kowtow to that and then lose money and waste money? And maybe the ESG, my question is like, what happened to the top-down ESG scores? Are they not worried about that anymore?
Right.
Because that seems to be the ticket and everything. So who knows? But I'm sure Trump's election was as much of a cultural shift as it was the political shift, I think. Like when that meme was going around where he had his EO binder and it says you can call people gay and retarded now, that meant something culturally, okay? That was a paradigm shift. And sorry if that's going to get you demonetized.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm already shadow banned on multiple platforms. It's okay.
Awesome.
It's a free
That's all the
speech
good ones are.
platform. Yeah, it's a free speech,
Yeah.
but mostly. I mean, there's some things we can't say on here regardless, but, I think we all know what those few words are. But for the most part, I think gay and retarded are fine.
And yesterday, I did a workout and had dinner with one of my friends, Aaron, who's running for mayor of Snohomish. And we were actually talking about exactly this, like the Snohomish Downtown Pride Parade. And these are funded by the HSDA or whatever. It's like the Downtown Historical Snohomish Association.
Right, yeah.
Every single business has to pay dues into.
Oh,
So
okay.
or like a Catholic store or like, anything else, you still have to pay dues that are funding pride parades. So we were kind of talking about the ethics of that and whether that's like representative and everything. But it's even, I went to the Snohomish County Pride as a member of Gays Against Groomers like 2 years ago, and it's much smaller, and the plans for it are much smaller this year. So I do think there's been a little bit of a chilling effect, maybe. But I mean, that's not going to go anywhere because especially anything that creates another like victim narrative for the TQ plus, they're going to run with that. I'm sure we're going to see pictures of like before and after, like Pride in 2024 versus 2025, and then with like sad music in the back.
Definitely. Yeah, they're definitely going to run with that and say like these are the effects of the Trump persecution, But yeah, no, I think it is a chilling effect as well, but I think you're right. Trump's election is just a symptom of what's actually happening here, and obviously American people are sick and tired of it. Ever since the inclusion, especially of the T and the Q, IA as well, I guess, it is not representative, I think, of now there's many different opinions of the impetus of this, right? It's like people saying, well, like gay marriage is what caused all this to happen. It was a slippery slope, or it was inclusion of the T's that come into the movement. I don't exactly know where the catalyst was here, but clearly Americans, for the most part, look at what the TQ is doing, and the addition of that, and you do see that subversion of norms happening to such a degree where, again, I think the death blow was including children into it, and that's the thing that you can't mess with, right?
I think
And
the
that
thing that
subject.
probably started it was Obama, our first gay president,
Right.
So.
Well, exactly. There you go. There's a truth right there.
But low key though, because I always say that to people. I was like, dude, he's our first gay president, whether he was gay or not, because he came in talking about like, I'm going to help my community, and he did a lot more for white gays than he ever did for black people, straight black people. So
true. Yeah. And I'm glad you coined that term. I guess you didn't coin it, but use that term, gay fatigue. I think that's very accurate and representative of what's happening here. And it's like every gay Pride Month, everyone kind of like collectively, leftists too. I mean, I know leftists, far leftists, in fact, online that's saying like they don't believe in any of this stuff, actually, as far as like corporations, putting out their support. They don't believe any of that. We all know. Sorry?
Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what is it's so people obviously can see through the facade, and it is also like this pushback against the corporate, you could say the corporate elite or like the corporate culture surrounding all this. But so I guess Pride Month, or the ending of Pride Month, or what I call Battle Month, is I think a bipartisan issue that we can all get behind here. But how do you think, and I know you're more plugged into Republican politics, but I wanted your take on what you think the Democrats will do with this, because when they had their DNC elections a few months ago, I don't know if you watched it, but they were still doing the land acknowledgements and the identitarian politics, and like the push out of David Hogg, because they said that he was essentially, because he was a white male, a straight white male, they didn't want him involved anymore for his position. I think he was VP, I don't remember, or vice chair.
Vice chair, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, vice chair. So like, do you think the Democrats are aware of these tides of change, or do you think they're just like completely? Are they demoralized? Like, what's going on? Why aren't they changing their rhetoric here?
I think it's a mix. A lot of them are demoralized. A lot of the young people are demoralized. A lot of the older people are sick of it. A lot of them took a full 180 turn as soon as the election was over. I mean, there were mass firings among massive corporations of administration. They basically pulled like an Elon and started doing that across corporations. But the Democrat or the DNC org is feeling that too. The problem is that they have too many young / radical people in positions of power to keep it going. So it's not just somebody that they've not just somebody that they is like on the outside protesting their event. These are chairs or vice chairs or people that sit on the boards of committees for these organizations or the DNC. So it's like they've spent years thinking, we all kind of thought that like this whole HR lady wokeness virus was going to be until the end of time, until we were all, you know, like genderless pod people.
Right. Eat the bugs.
Now, there's still all this infrastructure that they made for it. So that hasn't really gone anywhere unless they completely, you know, fired all of them, which I knew that they did. They fired a lot of like DEI directors and directors of this and that. So I think it's going to be like an internal battle on their side. And lucky for them, it looks like the Republicans are the messier ones right now. So that could potentially unify them a little bit, honestly.
Oh yeah, totally. And you know, I was also thinking about this because it seems like what also unifies the parties, and I talked about this previously, and this is kind of removed from the whole gay pride stuff. But were you at America Fest?
I was.
You were, okay. So you saw how they platformed Cenk Uygur there at the Turning Point, right? Yeah, that was crazy to me. I was floored that they did that, and it seems like there is sort of like this reaching across the aisle from at least mainstream conservatism into, and I think they're all like rallying over just the populist rhetoric, you know, us versus them, sort of like us versus the elites here in America, and that's why they brought Cenk on and how we could properly mobilize each other. Do you think, and this is kind of like a big question, but them Turning Point platforming Cenk Uygur really like confused me, so it got me thinking what the end game is here. And I guess this is not like related to what you're saying, but it got me thinking about this. Is a unifying of the parties, do you think, and also we had the conversation about the third party happening. Elon Musk is, you know, wanting to launch a third party now, apparently. But do you think that there are these like common issues where liberals, conservatives, or Republicans and Democrats can unify? What do you think that, or I guess maybe more simply, what do you think Charlie Kirk's intentions were in platforming Cenk, put in more simpler terms for people that are watching? What is their primary objective? Because there are, I think, key issues that people on both sides can agree with.
Yeah, I do. I think that's a part of them, a part of Republicans in general and TPUSA, kind of trying to solidify that we are like the party of the masses and we are the party of the worker and the party of all of that, because that's something that the Democrats have had like a stranglehold over for decades. But even though they've obviously like abandoned them pretty recklessly. And I was confused at that too. I did end up listening to him longer than I listened to Ben Shapiro. Because the conversation was more interesting. But oh my gosh, I've roasted Cenk so much. I mean, he's like, it's crazy because he did take such a turn, but what he had to acknowledge was like his own TDS and his Trump derangement syndrome and like all of the things where he was a maniac. I mean, you know, when he starts elevating his voice and all that. So I do think it's a double-edged sword to platform him. I would have almost rather had like Anna Kasparian there.
Yeah, it's a softer approach.
Yeah, and he's just such an oaf. And,
big buffalo, Cenk.
Big old commie buffalo. But I mean, I think that's, I don't think it necessarily hurt, honestly, because it's like, he took it, he was one of those people kind of like Bill Maher-ish and Anna Kasparian and other people that like right before the election, during and after the election started really taking like inventory of everything, or at least showing that they were taking inventory or pretending to be taking inventory and really leveling some valid criticisms against the party and how they ran Kamala and all of that. So I think that's valid. Let's elevate that all the more. But what it does show is that Republicans can't get too comfortable because we will lose the working class faster than the Democrats ever did. As soon as the Democrats put out somebody who's fairly normal, isn't a crazy warmonger, and wants to make healthcare actually affordable in this country, we're in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So that, I think we can't get too comfortable thinking that we have some monopoly on them, because we don't. And we need to be able to keep like the mass engaged, not just like the masses in like a pleb way, but just like the people that helped us win this election and the people that have always been on our side that were also working class. We can't just, we're very close to like teetering into like tech bro oligarchy kind of party on the right. And I don't have that many things. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. I don't have things against billionaires, just a few in particular. I'm not going to say they shouldn't exist, because that's crazy, you know?
Right.
But they are a different breed, and to deny that is actually insane. It does something to you when you can do and have anything or anyone on the entire planet because you're so wealthy and popular or whatever. So I think having just like a good old boys group of billionaires running the country, I don't know if that's a good thing either, honestly, because they're some of the most detached from reality and lacking like human empathy a little bit of people that I've ever or spent time with, like actually in person. So that worries me. Like if billionaires run this country any way they run their staff and their giant houses, I'm terrified. Okay.
Same here. Very well put. Also, one last question I want to ask you, and this is going to be perhaps spark a bigger conversation here. And I don't know if you've been following this, but it also has to do with Turning Point USA platforming someone. And I don't know if you noticed, but they're platforming Nala Ray for their Young Women's Leadership Summit. And a lot of people in the right wing were, discussing this, myself included. Now, I have my own opinions about it, but I wanted to hear your opinion about it because someone also in the chat asked about this, and I forgot to mention it in the stream today. I was going to talk about it, so I guess we can talk about it here. What do you think is going on there? Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think they're just desperate for more ticket sales? What's happening?
Sure, I think a part of that, I feel like them boosting ticket sales with that would be like what potentially like horny college boys showing up just to see her and be like, oh, I know her. I mean, yeah, potentially. But I think there has to be something more earnest there, I'm hoping at least, because if we, as believers, if we believe that somebody can change their lives and be free of like the shackles in their old life and all of that, then we have to believe that and we have to support that. Does that mean we platform it necessarily? I don't know. That should be up for debate. But I do think we have to be like realistic and understanding if she's, which from what I understand, her explanation was that she changed her life, gave her life to Christ and all of that. So she's now renewed and a new person. There are so many girls that are seeing young women and young girls make so much money on that site and flaunt it. Actually, a tiny, tiny percent that actually make money, right? But that tiny percent is all over the internet everywhere. And they're seeing that if we can get someone that isn't just Andrew Tate or some other red pill douche who, and I like Tate, like don't get me wrong, but like, come on. If we get somebody that's been through it to talk to these girls about it, that might open their eyes a little bit. And that might prevent someone from making some poor decisions later on. So I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's 100% appropriate, but if they could easily say it is by saying like, this woman is renewed in Christ now, so who are we to judge her if she's already been forgiven by God? So that is definitely valid. What would be concerning for sure is when some of these OnlyFans thoughts, some of their like devoted customers dry up. We don't want to be that place where we'll just instantly platform anybody once they leave a certain life, or when it's like the Republicans have this problem and they've had it for like a decade now, or a decade and a half maybe, ever since we've started flirting with more like representation and younger people and Black Republicans, gay Republicans, all of that, is that we are so eager to get people on our side that we'll just like welcome them immediately and platform them and be like, yes, they are us now. And we've lived to regret it more than once, you know? So I'm forgetting the name of there was a few of them that were just, I think one of her name was Madison. She was like this trans girl who ended up going on all these rants against trans people and all this stuff. And then we platformed her. She was on all these different shows. She grew her following. And then she completely switched up and started doing the exact opposite.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm
ripping
not
Republicans.
familiar with that story, but I wouldn't be surprised there. Yeah.
And then that gives them too much validity because it's like, oh, I was on your side. They don't have many of those stories, right? Like a majority of those like walkaway stories are from like ex-communists, ex-liberals, ex-democrats. So this gives them a way of like having that narrative of like, I was you, I was that, but now I've opened my eyes and I'm not some like MAGA person or a Christian or a conservative or whatever it is. So that's a concern that it's just going to create this whole like industry of being like, oh no, my favorite fans aren't subscribing as much. Maybe I should go on Tucker Carlson or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. I mean, I was perhaps a little bit more critical of it, but I think you're accurate. You're right to say like OnlyFans is a growing issue, especially for young women. And you know, the Young Women's Leadership Summit, they talk about issues that affect young women, and so. In a way, I can see your point. Like, we do need to talk about this issue, as you know, uncomfortable as it is. And I'm not gonna say whether she's saved or not because I don't know. That's like her business. So I don't like the people that are asserting that she's not saved. I don't like the people that are asserting that she's 100% saved, and we should accept everything that she's saying either, though, too. And I think you're right. Like, we need to be. And you bring up a great point that I didn't mention before. Is that even if she is legitimate and we platform her and it's all good, this could open the door to a bigger issue, and that is, like you said, the conservative movement just being like open arms to everyone, and that's how bad actors get in, and that's why we need to be a little bit more, you know, aware of that. And we've seen that happen, like what the Madison story. I'm unaware of that, but like I said, I'm not surprised. We've seen it happen. I personally seen it happen with a lot of people too. So we have to be aware of what we're platforming, and also, the Young Women's Leadership Summit, I just personally think like it is an event for like young, like underage girls. So when I found out Nala Ray was on there, I'm like, whoa, they're really like bringing up these well, they talk about like reproduction too, so I guess a 15-year-old girl, like, I don't know, I have issues with the Young Women's Leadership Summit.
It was, like, under 18 people. I thought it was all college.
So I mean I would recruit people for this organization, right? And in the past, and I had to like their primary focus, it is like it's for college girls, but a lot of them are for like high school girls too, and a lot of people, because I staffed it one year, and a lot of it was like teenage girls with their moms are coming in, and so like. If that's the case, we should probably be wary of what we tell these girls and their fragile minds. But anyway, I think it's a great event. I also had another theory about this I was talking about before you came on, is that like the conservative movement, and I guess it relates to what you're saying, is that especially for women to get involved in it, which is why why the Young Women's Leadership Summit is such a big deal for Turning Point, is that getting guys involved in politics is kind of easy because guys are just more politically keen than girls are generally, especially younger guys. Getting girls involved in politics is a little bit more difficult, so you do have to kind of like, and what I've seen personally is that oftentimes it is very religious. And I think perhaps they're like broadening it up and broadening up their speaker base by getting people with more like, even though Nala Ray is now a Christian, but with a more secular past or more secular experiences, so we can obviously broaden that for wider audiences. And although I think that's a good endeavor, actually, platforming is an issue. And we just had to be careful of who we platform and also to what events we're doing it. Like I said, this is an event for young girls, so I was skeptical of it. But I just hope it goes well and it is done, like you said, in earnest. So time will tell, I guess. But I am drawing kind of close to my ending period here. So I want to thank you, David, for coming on. Of course, I'm going to show your socials here after we get off this interview and this commercial break. But just tell us right now where people can follow you, and I'll put that on. Obviously, I'll advertise your Twitter and your Instagram Did you want your TikTok up? What else did you want?
Sure. Yeah. So on my Instagram and my X are the same. It's just @American David. So like American David without the A.
Yep.
And then my TikTok is American David 2.0. It's 100 million% shadow ban. My videos are getting like 200 views. It's ridiculous. And I'm basically just using it to like record and edit some things if I'm not using CapCut or edits.
Right.
So, but follow me on there. I'm not completely giving up on it yet because I feel like they're restructuring some kind of algorithm. Who knows? It might switch up. But yeah, follow me on Instagram for sure. That's what I'm the most active on. I definitely have political takes, social commentary. I also review political fashion and sometimes like to make funny videos too. So yeah, would love to have you there. And yeah, thank you for having me on. I love to come back whenever. It's always fun
Awesome.
talking.
Absolutely. We'll have you on a lot more. Thank you so much for coming on. I have one question. I've been trying to use TikTok more often too, on my personal account. I've been getting like my feed is literally the same thing over and over again, and it's other videos telling me how to go viral. Do you have the same thing, or is it just me? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Sometimes their algorithms are so quick that like if you search one or two things one time, it'll immediately pop up, or even if like you're talking about it or something, I'll go and my For You page changes so rapidly. It'll go from like recipes to like people's thirst traps to then like actual political takes from people. But then I'm also getting, I think the feed is crazy because I'm getting videos from like my friends and other creators that are like 4 months old, and they're not even like their popular video. It's just some random video from their page, and then I'm seeing it, and of course I like it because I know it's hard out here. But it's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with TikTok. They need to pull it together because it used to be like the best, and now it's kind of the worst. I think it might actually be the worst besides X.
Yeah, TikTok is weird. I didn't even like look it up before how to go viral. I may have talked about it because I feel like I'm shadow banned on all platforms. But yeah, literally like every time I go on, it's a video about how to go viral. I like would tear my hair out. I want to see something else. I'll probably just search it, something else, and and see what happens. But I need to use TikTok more too. I haven't. I like to put up these clips and Culturama interviews on there. So maybe you'll be on there as well in Culturama. I'm surprised I'm not like banned yet. I've had like 10 strikes at this point. So I don't know why I'm not taken off yet. But anyway, thank you so much, David. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll definitely get you on at some point, maybe the next few weeks here, or
Yeah,
maybe for
let's
Pride
make it
Month.
like a monthly segment.
Yeah, exactly, a monthly segment. That'd be great. David and Daniela. Anyway,
Yeah.
the dynamic duo, Culturama. Okay, we'll be on a quick commercial break. Everyone stay tuned, and I still have a couple more stories here before we sign off tonight. So thank you, David, and I'll put your socials up here at the end.
Sounds great. All right, thanks, Daniela.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, Chad, what did you think about that very wonderful interview? One of my favorite guests here, he was a returning guest, and we're definitely going to get it back on Culturama again. You guys, we are reaching the end of the stream. It is a Thursday, so I have to give off the stream the remainder of the time to the fellas as part of the For Liberty Network. This is the Liberty Tonight show, but we still have a little bit more time. Let me show you David's socials, and I have one more special story for you guys here in a second. Let me pull this up. Okay. So, do you guys see that here? Is my OBS working? Yeah, it is. This is David of America, or American David. These are his socials. You can find him on Twitter at American David. Again, that is American without the A, at American David on Twitter. There you go. David of America. And first generation Ruski, Slavic, just like I am. So there you go. There is his Twitter there. Oh, there's a Culturama. And you can find him on Instagram. This is where he's most active, at American David. Once again, on Instagram, David Leon, American David. He has a blue check mark, 20,000 followers. Go and follow his stuff. He has great takes. I can't watch it because I have to sign in. But he has great takes. There he is talking about Melania Trump's hat, like infamous or famous hat here. And he has really great stuff here. I follow him, and I suggest you do as well. And then this is American David 2.0 on TikTok. I suggest you go follow him on there as well. Pretty similar, like Reels. And like I said, he has really great political takes. He has keen political insight, I would say, naturally so. So I highly recommend that you guys go and watch him. Okay, now... Hello, Kermode Bear. Welcome to the Culturama stream in the chat there. I see you. Thank you. Happy Thursday. Last story before I have to sign off, you guys. We are entering the end times here. 2 rare doomsday fish wash ashore, sparking global superstition. Or fish sightings in India and Australia have reignited fascination with the deep sea. linked to natural disaster legends. Are you guys aware that we are in the end times? If not, I want to direct your attention to the oarfish right here. In two separate incidents this week, rare deep-sea oarfish, nicknamed doomsday fish, have washed up in beaches of India and Tasmania, stirring ancient legends about the online speculation. The monster and snake-like appearance of these huge silvery fish is also linked to wild stories of sea serpents. Oarfish are the longest bony fish species in the world. Okay, there you go. Let's watch this. Two have washed up ashore. Not a good sign. They look at that beast. I wonder how they taste like. But that's an oarfish, and supposedly this is signaling the end of time. That thing's huge. Well, I don't know, you guys. I am feeling pretty good about this. If the end of times are here, you know what? I lived a good one. I don't know about you. We'll take the end gracefully. If it is the end times, I take it gracefully, okay? I know some of us would probably be a little bit upset about that. I'd be like, you know what? 30 years, I think, was a good run. I don't have to get any older here. But yes, the oarfish have washed up ashore, and apparently this is a sign of the end times. I don't know if you want to believe Indian legend. I probably will, just for the fun of it. But anyways, really crazy times we're living in. But I think indicative of that, I think, was Trump nearly getting shot, was having previous to Trump a nearly dead president. You know, and the whole presidential election was also indicative, I think, potentially of the end times. But I want to show you guys one more thing here. I had a couple other stories, but I think I'll end it on that one. If you will, please. Now that I'm gonna go, Lister Lipsturdy, welcome to the Rumble chat. He wrote, "That is wild. They are wild. The oarfish are quite diligent and large species." If you will, actually, I want to look up a video of the oarfish, maybe, before, so you guys can have a better perspective here. I was going to have my merch here, but doomsday fish. I just want a video of an oarfish, maybe. Come on now. Here it is.
Easy.
Let's take a better look at the specimen, if we will.
No longer possible.
Where is the best timestamp for this fish? This is some boring document. Oh, there it is. There she is. Look at that.
Over the course of several months.
Look at how big. Oh my god, it's so... Look at that. What's a better video
The
of?
giant oarfish is the longest bony fish in the world. They are confirmed to reach at least 26 feet long. However, there have been reports of individuals reaching up to 56 feet long. Their long body is flattened and tapers
long,
off towards the
56
end.
feet long.
Oarfish inhabit deep water in the open ocean, down to about 3,300 feet deep.
Well, I thought I would easily find a good video of it, but apparently it's difficult to find one. Thank you, Nelson, for dropping in the chat a link to the shop. I very much appreciate that. Anyway, that's the oarfish. Don't know how it tastes. I would presume it tastes delicious, actually. There it is. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I don't know if it cuts off here. If there's more men, it takes 14 to 15 men to hold this beast. Real life sea monster. Anyways, before I sign off, you guys, I want to ask you, go to the ap4libertyshop.com. Do it for me, please. The letter A, the letter P, the number 4, libertyshop.com. You'll go to a page like this. It has a pink gradient. Type in the search bar, Culturama, the name of the show, Culturama, and click on the lovely picture of the creature, the dog there. And there you will see this beautiful banner with me on it, killing communist space zombies. The enemies of what we talk about. And you scroll down, you will see a whole host of products here. You have sweatshirts, you have the logo pillow, the Culturama logo pillow. You'll also have the Unleash the Beast pillow, which is of my dysgenic dog creature, the circus act that I have with me. And we have candles, we have mugs, Tim Pool hoodies. Please go on there. We have the JD Vance t-shirts, by the way. I really don't care, Margaret, t-shirts. Please go on, purchase something, support the channel. And if you want the most popular product, I highly recommend the Atomic Blonde coffee. It could be enjoyed hot. It could be enjoyed cold over ice, especially for this summer Pride Month season, or Battle Month, like I said, as I call it. It can be enjoyed straight black with cream, with flavors. Please go ahead and purchase yourself one bag, or you could do a consecutive time donation or order. So you can have it sent every month, every 2 months, or every 3 months, or every 2 weeks. And that way you will not only support the Culturama show, but also have a delicious mug of coffee every morning. So please support this humble coffee merchant today and purchase yourself the Atomic Blonde whole bean coffee. I think you guys will really enjoy it. Oh, do you have some Culturama stickers? No, Nelson, I do not have stickers. But that is a very, very good idea. I might actually design some and put them on the shop by next week, if we can get that all together. We have my body pillow. Huh? No, I can't go over today, Row House, because it's Thursday. So I'm going to have to sign off actually right now. I'm past my time limit. So, but thank you for showing up, Row House and everyone. I think I'll do another gaming stream this Saturday. I don't know what gaming stream I'm going to do, but I'm thinking about it. I will let you guys know on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, at DC Pensac, where you will find updates every day about Culturama. But let me get the link to the fellas, and we will have to sign off here. We'll miss Leo, though, next time, Leo. Leo will come on next time, Row House. Don't worry. When we get enough donations, we will get Leo on. The Liberty Tonight Show. Oh, I put in Culturama by accident. Are they live? They are live. Okay. Couldn't tell. Okay, you guys. Here's a link, and I will be out. I'll do my quick outro here. What a wonderful stream today. Big news. I'll probably be covering more this Saturday. But let me do my outro, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for tuning in today. We had issues with X, so we didn't have as much viewership. But hopefully, by Saturday, it will be...
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the left.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining in to Culturama today on Battle Month. Please follow me on Twitter and watch the stream. I'll be streaming again on Saturday and hopefully again on Tuesday. If Saturday doesn't pan out, you'll see me on Tuesday. We'll see. It is lovely weather outside, but fight the good fight. Stay true to yourselves, stay true to your principles, and let's fight against the infection of postmodernism infecting all of our major institutions, everyone. Let's bring back the traditional Americana zeitgeist back into the United States. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and I hope you have... hold on a second. I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, everyone. I'll see you during the next stream.
Eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's sky. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now to reign.